Okay. So how y'all doing? Y'all feeling good?
Yep.
Yeah, I see everybody kind of bundled up because Wisconsin is starting to show itself again. Um, my name is Bradley D.L.O. Thomas. It's a pleasure to be up here to speak with y'all today. They asked me to do this, so here I am. Um, a little bit about me. Uh, Education background. I went to school here in Wisconsin. Got my MBA and my undergraduate degree from here. Full time, what I do is I'm a marketing strategist at Promega. So I build out campaigns. It's a pharmaceutical company. I've been doing that for a couple of years. I've shared stages with many people in this room. But other people is the game, Nipsey Hussle, Diggable Planets, T.I., Snoop Dogg, Common, Talib, the OG. We wouldn't be here today, in my opinion, without DJ Kool Herc and Mr. Clyde's Stubblesfield all at the same time. So that was pretty cool. I'm a co-host for the Black Currency podcast, along with this man right here, Corey Whitmore, who does everything, and Opal Elise. So the podcast is basically we're talking about financial literacy, and we talk about real estate, we talk about stocks, we talk about different business models. So definitely check it out. It's it's everywhere. You can find it at Audible, you can find it at Spotify, all over the place. And if you want a link, just we'll talk afterwards. I'll give you the link to the podcast. I'm also a UCAN board member, and I have over 15 years of business experience, private, public, and nonprofit sectors. Uh, so that's just a little bit about me. But let's get into what we came here to talk about. So, what is a LLC? If you don't know exactly what that means, it's just a limited liability company, and it is a just a basic business structure that you can set your business up in. If you want to get more information about it, you can go to investopedia.com. There's a link in my presentation. Also, if you want my presentation, let's just talk afterwards. I'll send you a link to it, and you can take it home with you. So most of the information I'm going to talk about is already available on the internet. It's just a matter of you typing it in your phone, getting on your computer, and figuring out what you want to learn. So if you're an artist and you're in your basement and you're in your bedroom making your music, doing your thing, you may not notice, but you are in a business structure. You are a sole proprietor. So basically, you're getting treated like a just a basic individual. You're going to be taxed on the money just like a regular individual making some side money on a side hustle. Now, if you're small and that's fine. But once you start getting a little bit larger, you should start thinking about getting an LLC because there's a lot of reasons why you should get an LLC. Um, the top one I would say is that you're not liable for debts or lawsuits, right? Because you're actually a separate entity. They'll go after the entity, but they're not going to come and take your car and take your house, right? Take it exactly, right? You don't want that to happen. Um, it's easier to get business loans. Um, you can also, file your tax separately. I'll talk about that a little bit later. And it doesn't have to just be you. So if you want to come together with a group of people and form an LLC, you can do that. You can also do that as an individual as well. The only downside is a little bit of work. You gotta have some additional fees and paperwork that comes along with that. The great part about it though is that a LLC you can transfer this off to your kids. So if you start doing well, which I assume everybody in this room will, there will come a time where you're gonna get a little bit older. You're not gonna be able to do what you do, but you got something coming in. You got some revenue coming into your business. Now you can pass that on to your kids, and then your kids can pass that on to their kids. Right? That's what we want because the music is dope. I love music, but it's only 10% of the game. I think everybody in here understands that. The other 90% is what is out there right now. Um, that's why you might hear a whack rapper getting paid, right? To be honest with you, they had their business together. They know how to work the system. It doesn't necessarily matter that your music is better. It's a business, just like anything else. Um, so the sole proprietorship, you basically already started it when you started making music and started putting content out there. Um, it's easier to file with your taxes because it's just like filing your taxes as a regular individual. There's only one owner. Problem is, again, something happens to that you're involved in, and it's all of your personal assets are tied up in that. So it's probably something that you don't want to do, and you can't establish business credit either. So you're just going to be using personal credit to do the things you do. So we went over the personal asset protection. You can also have an exclusive name, so can nobody else take your name in your LLC. One thing I do like the most is the tax flexibility. We were talking earlier. I do not like the IRS at all. Um, they got to do their job, but that's a terrible job, in my opinion. So I've been through a tax audit before. It is not an enjoyable experience. So that being said, I am not a CPA. I can't give you that kind of financial information and advice. But if you are serious about your career, you're serious about your business, get a CPA to do your taxes for you. It's worth the fee. It's worth the cost, and it'll save you time. You just collect all your information. You go over to their house or go over to their office, and they'll do everything for you. And if they do it wrong, then their license is on the line. So they want to do it right. And CPA just stands for Certified Public Public Accountant. Also, too, if you have any questions, just be like, hey, ask me a question. We in a room here chilling, just having a conversation. So that's how it is. So in Wisconsin, it's pretty easy to set up a LLC. It costs about 170 bucks. You can set up a LLC in any state across the United States and still do business here. I put the website in here. You just go to the Department of Revenue, and it'll walk you through all the steps, all the paperwork that you need to do to fill out your LLC. Um, if it's just you choose your name. You can appoint a registered agent that will be you as well. And then you also want to get an EIN. So that's pretty important. And I'm gonna show you where you can get an EIN. So employee identification number. I'll put the website in here as well. It doesn't cost you any money to do, which is awesome. Here's some of the things you can do with the EIN. You can open up your own business account, under that number instead of using your social security number. You can apply for credit. You can apply for loans, and you can also use it, to file in your taxes so that it's separate from your regular social security. And again, that's how the website looks. You go in here, you just choose which one you want to use to set up the EIN. So it's a really simple process, in my opinion. If it's not, um, you know, just go to the website or just, talk to someone about it, holler at a lawyer, holler at an accountant, holler at someone that's already doing it, and they'll give you the information so that you can set up your LLC as its own business entity. So it's not, things aren't coming back to you. That's pretty much all I have to talk about. I mean, I know I went through the information fairly quick, but there's really not that much more to it. Once you want to start it up, it takes maybe about a couple of weeks for them to get the information back to you. You'll get it in the mail. You'll have all your information set in stone. You have your EIN number. Then from there, go to the bank, set up your bank account. You'll probably start getting a lot of stuff in the mail from a lot of these suppliers. They're like, here, buy some envelopes or buy this. Now, if you want to start building your business credit, you can maybe, do one order, something real light, get the 30-day net before you pay it. Then you can start building up your business credit that way, which is outside of your personal credit. And that's awesome in my opinion.
Can you explain for some people that don't know the net 30?
Oh, so you just got to pay in 30 days. Yep. So you got 30 days. It's like a credit card. So you buy something, then you show your credibility to actually pay it back, and that's how it works.
Can you also go into how the LLC has worked for you as far as music?
As far as music,
Yeah, as far as music, what have you utilized it for when it comes to music?
okay. So I use Mailchimp to do my marketing automation to get in touch with the people who are interested in my music. So I have that in the LLC. I also use another platform called Bandcamp. I have all the business transactions going through my LLC. Just really all of my expenses are all going through the LLC, and any other credit cards that I have that I want to have just for business and not my personal credit cards, I've used the LLC for that too. And then I'm also able to go in and be vendors. So I'm currently a vendor at UW Madison, to go in and talk about, men's mental health, or if they need media, or if they need any type of like marketing services from me, then I can just put that all under my LLC. And then at the end of the year, I'll have it all together and organized. So there's a lot of different things that you can do, and you just don't have to have one LLC. You can have two or three or four of them, depending on what industry you're in. So let's say you do your music, you start getting your bread, you want to do some real estate. Eventually, you start building up your real estate. You can throw your real estate in the LLC. You can just keep on moving and keep on expanding with it.
So I know a lot of people that start LLCs don't necessarily have a big budget. Can you talk about like grant funding available for LLCs so people can kind of like contribute to their own art?
There's tons of sources out there. I haven't really gotten any grants for LLC. It's just a matter of you. Uh, I think there's grants.gov that has a lot of opportunities that you could use, and you can use your LLC there as a separate entity to get that money. Well, if you're in the right structure too, because some of it is for nonprofits. So you just got to read the application and the requirements, and you should get that bread.
So if you look at WEDC or look at Dane County grants, or if you're in Milwaukee area or whatever county you look those up, I know Dane County is still pushing their 10K grant for startup businesses. So if you're an artist or whatever you're trying to do, like all you have to do is like start looking for a business office. Look for something that's within your needs. So you need a small office. Let's say it's $300 a month. You're looking at $3,600 in a year. You go apply for this grant. Now that 10K covers your new lease. It covers business supplies, and now you can start your business that way. The website you said is dope, but there are so many grants, county grants, and all you have to have is an LLC and establish a business and an EIN number, and go forward.
Cool. So the people on the live stream, the question was about grants and LLCs. A couple of resources for those in the Wisconsin and Madison area. It was, you said Dane.
Yeah, if you just Google
Dane County grants.
WEDC is, I believe that's the one pushing.
WEDC. Oh.
Like they're still pushing because they got a lot of money and not a lot of businesses. The startup, I believe it's like downtown startup grant or something like that. 10K. Like,
Yeah.
I'm very disappointed I can't get that one because my business is already going. But if you're starting a business, that would be the one to really go after because they're looking for people to give this money to. They are sitting on
Right.
a lot of money right now.
Yeah, I know Dane County. In 2020, I got a grant from Dane County because they were giving out grants to artists that were struggling and they wanted to expand in the area. Yeah. It was damn. It was damn. Yeah. Yeah. So they helped out a lot to get some projects out or do, some marketing, whatever else you got to do to expand your business. I have not. Y'all, the generator grant gives up to 100,000. Y'all need to get on that tonight at like I will. That's love.
Yeah, it's Wisconsin Economic Development.
Wisconsin. Okay.
So if you look at WEDC, they're like looking to give away money still. You just gotta have an established business and an established office. So like
So Wisconsin Economic Development. Okay. Okay. Cool. Cool.
Your house can qualify as an office. It has to be in an office space.
Well, not necessarily. I had built a new house, but at my old house, I used to use my area that was only for music, and then they used the square footage, and then I used that on my taxes because I wasn't doing anything else in my house except for music in that area.
certain districts and certain areas, you can get in a lot of trouble for running a business, depending on the business. You got to follow codes. So when you're talking about that, make sure you're doing something like that. Make sure you're following the codes. So people will say something, report you really quick.
Yeah.
on certain things.
Can we actually have you, Shad, would you mind?
Yeah.
Under the table, because we're live streaming so people can hear you.
Exactly. So what he was saying is that for the people live streaming, make sure that everything is cool where you are, so that you're not doing something that's not legit. No, I told you to come up here earlier, bro. You know what I'm saying? Yes, sir.
So I know you mentioned earlier about having multiple LLCs.
hmm
And I know that there are different things like what you have as a music artist, then there are other things that you use for like LLCs, licensing, whatever, so like that. Can you explain I guess the strong point of having multiple LLCs?
I would only use multiple LCs if you need it. Me personally, I just would go by industry or whatever I'm working on. So one I got for like basically media. It was music at first, but then when I described it, all the stuff that I was helping people with, I just made it media. So DLO Vision Media LLC. Then I have another one which is Mansa Musa Holdings. That's all focused in on real estate. Yeah.
How much money do you feel like you should be making as an artist before you invest in an LLC?
If I was starting, I would just start from the beginning and have your business structure set up, the foundation laid out, and then start off from there, even if you are at zero, because you're gonna have different costs that you can write off for expenses to get you to as you getting your business started.
So when you get it at first, is it just like because you said like it was like $170 when you first got it. So is it just that first time fee, or are there like continuous fees that come with it?
Yeah, there's annual fees with it too.
Okay, but it's like
Yeah.
annual, not like a monthly.
Right, it's not like a monthly. Right.
Can I chime in at the end of that partially? For if you're gonna start putting out music and you're gonna claim your publishing, it's gonna be important. In the beginning, yes, you can claim that publishing just as an individual, but eventually you're gonna want to set up some sort of company. So if you put out a song and then ESPN or somebody picks it up and they're paying royalties, they'll be looking to try and pay that company, that LLC. So if you have that, your publishing already set up through the LLC, then that's also a help to be able to get some of those money coming in.
I tell people set aside $300 because it's $170 now. I swear I just paid $150 and that was for expedited. But if it's $170, that's bogus. They're charging more. But
Everything going up.
they're charging
going
more.
up, man.
It's only $20, but that $20 matters.
Yeah.
Because the EIN number is free, but the bank account, when you go to a bank, you're gonna need, depending on the bank or the credit union, you're gonna need $100 to $200 to start that account. So when I say $300, it's to set up the business, but it's also to set up the bank account because you want to put that money in there. And the moment you do that, they're both right. You want that. Now, even if you didn't make 5K and you're not going to have to pay taxes or whatever, you want to have this as your expenses because it's showing that you're spending money. And then the moment you start making money and you go for that loan, and loan instead of going to the record label, you'll get better interest rates. That's a whole nother story. But when you go for that loan, you can say, hey, my first year, I lost $7,000 recording, even if it doesn't cost you $7,000. Say you recorded yourself. Well, however much recording is, you get an invoice for that and you invoice yourself for that. And so 7K. Well, then the next year, I only lost 4,000. And that third year, now I'm making 1,000. That fourth year, I'm making 5. Now, when you go to that bank, they're like, oh, yeah, let's get behind this. We'll give you some money. And that makes sense. And now you're thinking like a business person. And so you just treat it like that. So the moment you want to start something, you get that $300 and start. Go ahead.
I think you raised your hand in, or somebody. I saw someone over here, but if you want to go, yeah.
No, I was just gonna ask you stuff like I'm hearing other terms like what are the solid essentials that you should have with it? Because I'm hearing like the LLC and then we need the EIN number, but that's to open the bank account. So like,
Well, you need both.
yes, that's what I'm at. Like, what all do you like is important to have to not just have an LLC? Like,
What are all the pieces?
What are all the pieces?
So if we can just go back to the pieces that come with, if you file for that LLC, those things that you're getting.
The things that you're getting.
Your question is, Yep.
The EIN number, you'll get an EIN number. Is it'll have two numbers and it have a dash, and then it'll have like the rest of your numbers. So that'll give you the number that you can use for your LLC.
It's like a social
it's
security
free.
number for your
Yeah.
business.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So if it's that, it identifies your business, like your social security number identifies who you are. So a lot of banks, a lot of credits, they want to know your EIN number, and that's the number you use instead of your social security number now.
Right.
Can you go to the flow chart slide?
Yeah.
So that's kind of how they fit together. I'm talking about the order.
Yeah.
Robin, and you guys.
You got a question back? I saw you.
I think in Wisconsin, if you're a student,
Mm.
you can actually cost the fee to file for LLC is waived.
What?
Yeah.
Word.
Like you got to be a full-time student or just,
A student,
man, I'm gonna take one class.
So to all the streamers, all the streamers out there, we have learned that if you are a student, you can get the fees waived. So go to school.
so I've had the opportunity to take advantage of the WEBC bounce back grant.
Okay.
For my business, Dot Green Media. That's like, what we do, same with podcasts.
Okay.
But with that, so like you have to have office space at least 400 feet by 400 feet. And when you have so other fees that's gonna come with that.
Yup.
Is you gotta get all your occupancy done too. So you gotta pay for just pay for the inspections
Mm-hmm.
and all that stuff. So just a couple more, I think maybe you could add on to what
Right.
you're saying. But then because it took me I was operating everything out of my house as well.
Yep.
I just got sick of I don't know, I just wanted to separate that.
Mhm.
And so before, it was years of getting a bunch, you know how it is, you gotta get your equipment and all that up. So, gas grant is good, it's been good for me, for us and our business ventures.
Mm.
And, but it takes, I think it just, for anybody like say, starting as an artist, it take a while to just get up to that point to where you would actually need that for the investment. But because you actually have an office space. Like you said, I did that, I paid the county or off to a reasonable price. You get a grant to pay for the space for a year. And got that nice case. Got some more equipment, It's possible.
Yes, sir.
very much.
I forget what act it is or whatever, but legally you can, doesn't matter how much your rent is, but you can use up to 14 days a year. You can use your house as like your studio or whatever, and you can write that off up to 14 days a year. Doesn't matter what you charge yourself.
Well, see, I think that's the key with getting what you were saying, with getting an accountant. Like my best friend became my accountant once I did that because that's where I got the idea for the trust.
Yeah.
Because I have 5 LLCs. And so then I decided, I want to trust in another country so I don't have to pay as much because the IRS is not so nice at all. They're not nice.
Yeah, you want to get on Facebook.
We can't tell all the business now.
Well, it's all legal. It's not illegal. It's legal business. It's just it's legal business.
Get that CPA. I'm telling you,
My accountant is my good
man.
friend.
Like, no matter what you don't have to get a CPA that's going to charge you a lot of money, but the money you do spend on it, it's going to be worth it. Because trust me, you don't want to be dealing with the IRS. They're going to go through everything. It's not a fun process.
So what do you need to keep for your accountant with, like, when you go to do taxes? Like basically all expenses and all.
Yep. Mm-hmm. All
Expenses
expenses.
and income, right?
Ex-
Basically?
expenses
Yeah,
and income. Yep.
I like to keep every single receipt, and I don't care if it's paper. I have folders for them, and I put them in there. Even if because most of them they come via email too. But like for me, because of clothing and shoes and all this stuff, so the materials, like all this comes with a paper receipt. I keep that as well because I'm not playing with this. I don't want to deal with
Right.
those 3 letters. Like if Kingpins couldn't get away with it, I'm not gonna think I can. So it's keeping track of everything. And then there are legal ways to have dope expenses. And so that's what I was saying. If you record yourself, then you charge yourself. You charge your business. So when I go out of town to go train with someone to up my certification in self-defense stuff, that's a write-off. That whole trip is a write-off. Everything, even if it comes out of my personal account, it's like I'm now charging my business for that. And so there's tons of ways to do that when you start your business. And as an artist, think about all the costs that you have as as an artist. Like you have studio time, you have
Software.
marketing. Yeah, so like it's
Got equipment.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
And so everything is a tax write-off.
There's an app too that I use that is connected to my bank account. So what I'll do is I go into the app. I believe it's Intui, like quick. It's basically I think it's called Quick, but it used to be called QuickBooks, but it's taxed by Intui, INTUIT, and it connects directly to my bank account.
Mhm.
So anytime I get paid through something that I did, maybe design a website, I'll see the money come in, then I can put it in a category. Just right, instead of me being on Instagram, I'll just like, hey, let me, what I'm saying? Let me put this in a category real quick. And then at the end of the year, you can give your CPA, if that's what you choose to do, access to all that information. And then they'll be able to say, okay, here's the outcome.
And they
Here's
like
what you're
that.
doing.
My accountant has their own login information right to my
Yeah.
accounts. Like, so if there's a problem, he can go right in and see what's up and tell me what's up if I'm not understanding it. Like they love QuickBooks and systems like that.
I have a question. So I had registered for a Guns and Bar number when I first got my LLC, but I know recently they changed it. It's called something else now.
Is it called?
Really?
Change it to unique identifier.
Yeah.
Oh,
Unique
okay.
identifier.
Yeah, but it's like something that they call it. It's like another name for it now.
Yeah, that's what it is. So then that's for federal contracts. And so if you're gonna work with the feds, you need that number. And then instead of you just entering that DUNS number into everything, it translates it to a UEI. And then so that's how it changed over.
There's something dope about Karen saying when you're working with the feds, when you work with the boys, when you work with the feds.
Right. And then I seen the Guns and Bar.
Yeah.
Like the 360 photo booth. So I was like, oh, you have to have a certain thing that did for like to do government functions and stuff.
Yeah, you have to go on like sam.gov and register on there, and that's where you can get your UEI on there.
That's easy too.
So we were talking about government, government business, what you need for that, and there's a number that formerly it was called the DUNS number, and what's it called again? What's it called now, Karen?
Now it's unique entity identifier, UEI.
Unique identity identifier.
The moment you go on sam.gov, like you go on that website,
Sam.gov.
you have to you have to set it all up.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you might also have to use it if you're applying to like state or county or city government, if that money's coming through the federal government.
Yep.
Then they'll require you to have that. And it's a pain in the ass, so you do have to do that. It takes at least 2 weeks on sam.gov to get all of that set up. So you might as well just do that also when you're doing all this other stuff, because then you have that done. that one's free
Mhm.
to renew every year. So you might as well just do it. You have to renew every year, just like you do for your business paperwork. So might as well just have it, and then if the opportunity comes, it's already there, ready to go.
All artists should just look at themselves like they're the next Warren Buffett and just think about their careers as a business like that.
Just plan on being a millionaire.
Yeah, that's how I look at it.
So I do think this is a unique opportunity also for you two to speak upon other revenue streams outside of music, because I feel that both of you have gotten into other things that have helped feed a lot of the things that you love and enjoy by getting into different lanes. Would you guys mind talking about some of those other revenue streams that you guys are doing as well?
I'm currently working on building up a real estate portfolio to get some more passive income coming into my life. The reason I want to do that is because I currently work a job. I love my job. Shout out to y'all. But, but I want freedom. I want to wake up when I want to wake up. I want to be able to make music all day and really focus in on that. And in order to do that, you need to have some resources coming in or a system coming in that is paying you while you sleep. And that's what real estate provides. Now, the market is slowing down a little bit because interest rates keep going up, but it doesn't matter. In the long run, it's going to be great because people always need a place to stay. And you don't need to start off with like, a $200,000, investment property. You can get investment properties for as low as $50,000. Going with a group of people, right? Invest it and buy it, rent it out, take care of it over time. And, and a lot of times you'll have, some equity that comes along with that too. That just means that the value of the house goes up. So then you got more value, then you can go to the bank and leverage that and get another property. So that's really where my head is right now. Outside of music, yeah, that's really where I'm at.
I've moved past music probably since, as far as music management, I haven't done anything really major since 2018. I bought a gym. So my business went beyond that. I found something else that I love, bought a martial arts gym. And surprisingly, that is brought me that passive income that you're speaking about, because I'm just now this year starting to not teach every single class. So I have other instructors. So while I'm not there, I'm still building income beyond that. Shoes, merch, like I have my gym has its own clothing line. So, and that's doing pretty well. I have my own personal shoe line. I make money from music, but it's doing what I love to do, which is within schools or within community projects. So that's how I'm making that income. So I still stay connected with music that way. I'm actually my significant other, and we're actually looking at duplexes and looking to buy we own a home. So we are going to be renting our home while living on one side of a duplex and renting the other side of the duplex. So we have a real estate plan right there with you.
Yes,
I don't know if I'm gonna get it to your level, but that is definitely real estate is the next branch of that. That's where my income is coming in for right now. So
also too, now you sparked my mind about renting out places. You can't do it here in Madison because my one of my family members actually set up an LLC, and what they did is they rented out, they got the apartment rented in their LLC, and then they Airbnb'd it. Right.
Can't do it in Florida either.
He was gonna make about like $3,000 that month just off of renting that out. But you can do that in other states though. So that's like another route that I've seen people doing too. If you got a nice car, you want to rent that out, you can do that too. Like there's so many different side hustles that you can take to get extra bread while you don't, while you just at home doing what you want to do. Now me, I wouldn't, I don't let nobody else drive my car. but you know what I'm saying? That's just me. I'm just saying, you know, if you want to go buy a cheaper car, like I got a friend, my friend James McIntyre, what he does is he'll buy used cars, you know, that are from like 2010. They're still in decent shape, and then he'll rent them out that way. He also has a truck as well. So there's a lot of money in, you know, shipping and, you know, getting products and services all over the United States that just artists aren't really thinking about. Like I find like a lot of artists, we just think about what we want to do creatively, but we're not thinking about all the different connections that need to be made so that we can really do this all the time. And it's not fun. You know, it's not fun all the time, but just because it's not fun doesn't mean it doesn't need to be done. That's usually one of the most important things you got to do. So the quicker you do it, then I feel like the better position you're gonna be in the future. Shout out to First Wave too. I see all these First Wave shirts. Y'all looking fresh, man.
How many people in here write? Do you know how much money you can make just for writing other people or writing poems for other people or putting it online for streaming? Like there's so many different revenues. He's right. Think beyond the creativity. Like I don't understand how to write. Y'all are very talented. Kudos to you. But there's so many ways to make money within that. If you think outside of the box, and that's what he's talking about, just business wise, just think outside the box as far as your own talent and how you can make and generate funds from that. And that's where an LLC really plays a part, because that's all money coming in. And trust me, if you go to a bank and show that you're making money, no bank is going to say no. I don't care what you look like. It's all about, we were just having this conversation. It's all about money. So if you prove that you're making money, they're going to be like, oh, well, let's give you some more money so you can go out and make more monies, because they're going to make money off that. So LLCs are definitely the way to go.
I guess I'd say one thing I know in the last couple of years is a lot of fintech banking. And so a lot of online banks will do like free business bank accounts for like starting out people, where like if you go to like a Chase, they'll want you to have like a minimum deposit or a monthly fee or whatever. So might be something we want to check out.
So online banks, y'all, they're opening up. I see a lot of them. That's what, you know, somebody from the crowd just mentioned that. Check those out too.
Also give you an interest rate on your savings account that's higher
Word.
than a standard bank account. So you're making money off your money, not a lot, but
Man.
Hey
And
man,
better than nothing,
it's
man.
better than the bank that's just
Yeah.
making a high interest off the money they give you, while your money is losing money. Just keep your money moving. That's another thing. Like, don't just let it sit in the savings account, because you're actually losing money while it's sitting there. Inflation is going up, the value of the dollar is going down. You're losing money. But most people ain't thinking about it, because they're like, oh, I got this, I got this bread. Like, no, it's going down in value because they keep printing more money.
You just that's a whole nother.
Yeah. I mean, that's what the government does. There's nothing backing the dollars. It used to be gold. There's nothing backing it anymore.
Well, you look shocked. She looks shocked. She looks
there's
flabbergasted.
Yeah.
Puzzled, perplexed. What other great word can I use here?
Like basically we just believe in the dollar. We believe like, I give you $1, it's worth $1. It's not worth $1, but they keep printing it. They keep printing it. And the more, you know how it is, the more you got of something, the less the value is. That's why everything's going up in value. Everything's going up in price. Paying $5 for some eggs, man. Like,
we're paying Hawaii prices.
That's crazy.
Hawaii prices.
Damn, it's like that. You been to Hawaii?
My boy lives out there.
Damn.
So like the day in the era of banking on a big record deal was over. Can you kind of like talk about different ways to capitalize as an individual now?
Yeah, because like you don't get nothing from streaming.
Right.
I don't like streaming because my attitude is very similar to Yassine Bey's. I don't know if you've seen him talk about this on a podcast with Talib Kweli, but yeah, it's not cool. This is why I like Bandcamp personally, because I have more creative control over my content. I like the fact that I can set up my own page. I can set up my own branding to match everything that merchandise, all the stuff that I have. I can determine how many times you stream my music before I want to get compensated for it. I can determine what albums are free. I can determine how I want to distribute those in a free way. So let's say I give away a free album. Me personally, I'm going to get an email address. You can download a stream or do whatever, DJs, they can download my music, use it as waves, put it in a mix. But I want that email address because I know that you're interested in what I'm sharing with you, as opposed to me taking a very broad approach and hoping and praying someone puts me on a playlist on Spotify and pays me $5 for 1 million streams. Actually, it's 3,000. But you guys get the point. And these people that are running these companies do not care about the artists. It's a business. They care about that monthly fee that's continuously coming in, that's paying their bills. So I would say Bandcamp is one way. I also like Bandzoogle. That's another good website. Very customizable. You can determine. You can do free downloads. You can do paid downloads. You can sell merch. You can do landing pages just for, like, let's say you got an album coming out. They come to your website. Your landing page is the first thing that they see. So you can direct them to what you want them to do. So those are two resources that I like because that's pretty much what the label is going to do for you. They're going to put a lot of money behind you, but how much money you going to come home with is the question. What were you going to say? Yeah. Okay.
So what about Reverb Nation? What would you say about that?
Wow. I haven't. Oh wow. I you know what? When I was on Reverb Nation, I paid like $20 just to see what happened, and I became the #1 artist in Madison. Real talk. I was like, people like, how you doing? I was like, I gave them $20. They put me to the top.
I was 12 in Milwaukee.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I haven't used Reverb Nation in a while, so I don't know the tools. I don't know. I don't know any artists that are really using it for. I haven't used that either.
You never heard of that one?
I haven't heard of that one. Indie on the Move.
So it's basically you can use it for free or you can use it pro, but
Okay.
it shows you bookings and like it's mostly like an indie Bible. So
Okay.
if you're an
Oh, yeah.
artist and you want to perform in other states,
Okay.
you can book yourself in other states. Some is paid, some is not.
Word.
But it's basically a way to build your fan base around.
Okay.
Sounds similar to Sonic Bids.
Word.
Or EPKs. Does it have an EPK with it that you have to put together?
No,
Yes.
no, you don't have to.
No
It's like,
EPK?
so it's like if you want to perform in New York, and they might already have like a bunch of artists with a big fan base performing.
Okay.
You can just find yourself right up. You just got to get there.
I'm sorry, man. I forgot to mention one thing about Bandcamp and Bandzoogle that I like. So we're in the era of $5 a month. You get whatever you want. You can do that on Bandcamp and you can do that on Bandzoogle. And then you can give people exclusive content when they subscribe to you, right? So you can do the math. If you got 20 people who are paying, I don't know, $5 a month, all you got to do is get more subscribers. Now you can give them exactly what they want, your material, because they've committed to you, That's all I was going to add.
Charles chomping at the bit over here. I feel like he has something to say.
The answer is always simple to me. Record labels still give out plenty of money. The problem isn't the money. The thing is, as an artist, the game never changes. That's why for someone like me on the business side, I could walk back in and it's not a problem. Like that, it's not a problem. Plug back in. The issue is always the same. You have to choose as an artist what you want. Do you want fame or do you want money? If you choose fame, then you put it on Spotify. You put it on Spotify and you put it on everywhere because you're going for fame. You don't care about the money. You want the name. So you put it out there and you hustle. The work is the same, but what you're working for is different. You're working so millions of people can listen to you, and you got to bust you. Can I swear? You got to bust your ass to go do that. Now, if you're worried about the business model and you're worried about the money,
then you don't worry about Spotify. You don't worry about those things. You do Bandcamp. You got to bust your ass the same way, but understand that now you're going to see a bigger revenue stream, but it's going to be a smaller demographic. So you have to decide as an artist of any caliber or any business model, you have to decide what you want. So I put out clothes. The clothes are all based in my gym. So I don't expect somebody in Japan to buy these unless they've heard of my gym or heard of my fighters or heard of something like that. You have to understand your market and go after your market that way. And if you're going to put out music and you want to have the best business structure for your music and you want to make the most money you can, the work is going to be the same. But if you want to bring back a bigger check, then you stay Bandcamp. You go into these other places that you're going to see a bigger check. Just understand you're going to have a smaller demographic and you got to work hard for that smaller demographic. Does that make sense? That's a simple business model. Fame or money. When you go with a record label, they'll get you tons of fame. And if you don't have a big name, you're not going to get a big check. So if you got a lot of fame already, if you built up your business model already, and notice I say business model because you did your marketing on social media, you did everything as a business correctly, you'll see a bag no matter what business you go to. It's just the return, the return back on that loan isn't going to be great with a record label. It's better to get a loan from a bank or something like that. So does that make sense what I'm saying here? From a business model, you just have to decide what you want your business to look like. And I think artists struggle with that because you look at everybody else and you're not looking at it from a business aspect. So I used to tell artists all the time. So like, this is Bradley DLO, right? AKA DLO. So the meetings I would have with people is the same I would have with anybody structuring a business. Okay, Bradley handles the business. DLO handles the art. These motherfuckers don't get together. DLO goes in the studio and writes the songs. Right. When DLO comes out, Bradley handles the business and decides business model, what you want to do. And to me, if you could divide yourself up like that, you will always do good business because then you're not getting in the way of your art isn't getting in the way of the business, and your business structure is set up. So to me, the hustle is the same from a business aspect, no matter what. You just got to decide what your business model is. Are you going for the fame and the look and da-da-da-da-da-da-da? Because you can have all that fame and be broke as fuck, but you'll have fame. You'll have what you're looking for. If you're looking for the money and the revenue and to have passive income and to set generational wealth, now you got to think on a different level on a business end. Does that make sense? Okay.
I will add to that too. I'm not a fan of streaming, but I do feel like if you can find a way to take certain material and put it out there that will connect with a certain playlist, will connect with a certain crowd, and then draw them in, get their contact information or have them searching for you and come to your website or whatever else you got all the rest of your music set up, you can use it as bait, right? So one place they hear you, they recognize you, but you want to bring them home. You want to get their contact information. That's just my attitude, but you can really run your business how you want.
And form an LLC.
Yes. Yes, sir.
All right. We got one more comment, a question. I think the word good for retargeting. You want to get their information and retarget them, right?
Well, I wouldn't retarget them. If I retargeted them, that means they came to they came to my Facebook or they came to my website, and then I had like some UTM tracking on it, and then the next time I run a Google ad, then whatever I'm putting out, that's going to show up in front of them. What I would say is re-engaging with them, because if you give me your email address, that tells me you want me to keep in touch with you, because I'm giving you something that you feel valuable. You know, you value what I'm giving you. So the next time I got something, I'm gonna send it out, and then I can track those analytics to see who's engaged. So I'll send out an email. My open rate is about 30, 35%. Click rate is about 10%. So now I can say, all right, this group of people, they're interested in what I got going. This group over here, and they opened up a few emails. So maybe I'm gonna focus in on this group a little bit more because some revenue is coming through over here. And hopefully, what'd you say?
What's the main way you build your email?
I use MailChimp to build it. So inside of MailChimp, you can put it into different segments or different groups of people. You can do it based upon open rates. You can do it based upon click rates.
Right, but how would you get my email? Like I come to your website, like do I have to give you my email?
Well, let's say you want to,
Song or something?
yeah, let's say you want a free album or something that I put out. I'm like, all right, cool, I'll give it to you for free. Let me keep in touch with you.
You set websites up too, so.
Yeah. Come on back. You can do it on the website. You can do it on
I
Bandcamp.
wanted to say hi, and I was trying to give him like you can set up when you have your website. You could just set it up so they can subscribe to your website via email right off the bat. Don't give them like how many websites do you go to and boom, they ask for your email right off the bat, and then without even thinking about it, you put your email.
Yeah.
Some people, but the majority of people follow and they instantly put their email in there and then they forget about it. They like there's so many ways to just hypnotize people.
Bandzoogle is really good because it's specifically designed for musicians. It was put together as a website just strictly for artists. No other focus. They have templates. So if you don't really know how to design, you can get something that looks nice, or you can have a designer come in and match your brand. Like it's money. I think it is.
All right, let's give a round of applause for. So we're gonna take